game begin.
My name is Maximus Decimus Meridius.
I am your father.
You like Huey Lewis on the news?
Yes. And you're not sure about this, are you?
You're gonna die, clown!
What's the most you ever lost on a coin toss? Sam, the most you ever lost on a coin toss. Call it.
Whose motorcycle is this?
It's a chopper, baby.
Whose chopper is this?
Zed's.
Who's Zed?
Zed's dead, baby.
Bring out today!
This is a tasty burger.
Yippee-ki-yay, motherfucker.
Louis, I think this is the beginning of a beautiful friendship. Wait a minute. You ain't heard nothing yet.
Welcome to the fucking show.
Hello, welcome back to See What Sticks, a podcast about everything and nothing. I'm your host, Russell.
And I'm your guest co-host, Ben.
Ben, you're now the official most reoccurring guest host besides Emma. I don't think you're a guest host anymore. You're now just a host. You've passed the two episode trial period, and now you can officially be called a host on See What Sticks.
Very nice. I might as well be like Christopher Walken in the 90s Saturday Night Live, just hosting so much. He's just a staple.
Yeah, you're just part of the show now. It's just a thing. But yeah, so what have you been up to since the last episode?
Since then, really just keeping up with summer classes, full-time daddy duties, and that's really about it. Oh, I guess I did get a subscription to Shudder, which is like the Netflix for like horror and thriller films, which is like that's my lay in the road. I'm a big horror movie fan, and I'm happy with the $5 a month that I'm paying for that. They got a good big list of pretty decent, good horror movies, and a lot of shitty horror movies that are in the realm of so bad that they're good.
Yeah. Do you know? Okay, you're a horror movie guy. Do you know who Svengoolie is? He is a. Okay, do you know like Turner Classic Movies and all that kind of stuff is? So Svengoolie he is a Chicago like icon. It was like on like WGN Chicago, which is like the WB network. Svengoolie was like the guy before horror movies who gave you the debrief on them, but he like had a very specific like way he dressed. He almost looked like a Kiss character from like the band. But I met Svengoolie at a comic book store, and it was a highlight of my life. And I was like 13, so I peaked early.
Okay, he sounds kind of like a Joe Bob Briggs type. Like,
yeah.
You know Joe Bob Briggs? Okay, yeah, Monster Vision. Mm-hmm. And he's actually, on topic of that, he's actually doing that style of thing. It's called The Last Drive-In. That's going to be live. I feel like I'm plugging Shudder right now. That's live tomorrow night. It's like it's either 12 or 24-hour marathon of horror movies that he's pretty much doing that exact same thing. He's giving like statistics for like drive-in, like kill counts, all that stuff, and I'm pretty excited for that.
That's amazing. Actually, the last time I was at a drive-in was to see a horror movie. I saw It, and was it like the Annabelle Resurrection or something? It was whatever was before it. Emma and I weren't there to see that. We were there to see It, and it was amazing in a drive-through setting. I think it added to the film. It did not detract.
I think I've been to a drive-in twice. First time my dad took me to see Big Mama's House and Gladiator.
Ooh.
Gladiator was amazing at a drive-in theater. Even I remember how good that was as like a little 11-year-old, 12-year-old kid. And the second time, I think I went with an old girlfriend to see Die Hard, like the fourth Die Hard, where they really started to get bad.
Is that the one with Justin Long?
Yes.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah, Live Free or Die Hard.
Yeah. I think I actually own that movie on DVD. Huh. Right on. We own Gladiator on DVD, but I just got it on like iTunes Movies just so I can have it like when I'm not here in my house physically. That movie is fantastic in every single way. Historically not accurate, but such a good movie. Like that's a whole podcast in itself, talking about like great Russell Crowe movies.
Yeah, and I would say that's probably Ridley Scott's peak as far as directorial stuff. After that, he had decent movies, but nothing at that caliber.
Yeah, I think Yeah, that movie's pretty freaking fantastic. What else? I mean, Kingdom of Heaven is an okay movie. It just was not critically well received, and you have to watch the director's cut version. If you watch the normal one, it's a completely different film. They cut out like 45 minutes of the movie, and this whole plot where there's a kid involved, and if you watch it in theaters, that's not even a thing, so people's like motivation doesn't make sense, or don't make sense. And if you watch the director's one, you're like, oh, obviously, this makes so much more sense. It makes the characters more realized. Way better. So...
I think I've seen that once, and I really don't remember anything about it other than what Legolas is in it.
Yeah, Orlando Bloom's in it.
Yeah.
The guy, King Baldwin of Jerusalem, who has like leprosy, who wears like the face mask, is, I just realized because I had to watch it for a class last semester at Purdue, is Edward Norton. And like, because you never see his face, and he's always in makeup and stuff. So I had no idea that was Edward Norton until like I was writing the response essay for it, and I had to look up like actors and stuff. I was like, oh my god, that's Edward Norton. It does not sound like him at all, but yeah. So
more, you know.
what are you taking right now for summer classes? Like, what are you doing?
Let's see. Maymester, I took History of World War II class, which was really interesting. The instructor was amazing. Really down-to-earth guy. He's an older gentleman, about probably, I'd say, mid-60s, but his enthusiasm really he really projected his enthusiasm about the topic onto his students, and I think that helped tremendously. And then right now I'm taking just a 100-level sociology class, just an intro to sociology and anthropology, study of cultural human anthropology.
Ooh, I think I might take it. Is it the one where you look at fossils or no?
No, not that one.
Oh, that's a really cool class. If you get to take that one, I took 2 anthropology classes when I was at Purdue. I took the one where you look at like Cro-Magnon humans and like the evolution of people, and you look at all the different skulls and do like the whole like carbon dating stuff with them. That's a super cool class. I don't remember what it's called, but you should take it because it also counts as like a lab credit. Definitely take it.
Okay, I'm not looking into that then.
Yeah, it's a really... I don't know if they still did, because I know they've changed stuff around in the film department. I know they've mixed some stuff up and like changed requirements, but if that's still a class, 1,000,000% take it. It's one of the coolest classes I remember at Purdue, and that's one of those classes that will stick with me like 20 years from now as like, that was super cool.
Okay.
But I think I did take the cultural anthropology class. Are you in... Maybe it's a different room. Were you in Matthews to take it?
I'm in Stonehall.
Oh, you're in Stonehall? Actually, I think we were too. Is Stonehall the one... for people listening who don't go to Purdue, sorry, but is Stonehall the one... It faces State Street, so it faces south?
Let's see. It's right next to State Street.
Yeah,
so
okay.
There's a recitation hall.
Yeah.
And then University Hall, and then Stonehall.
Yeah,
they're all like right in a row there.
Yeah, that's where mine was, and it's not Matthews. That's where we had the lab for it. Was on the second floor, in like those big long lab rooms, like the old ones with the like the old school lab tables. Yeah, that's where we had that class. It was super cool. Definitely take it. And with the World War II one, is it like Japanese or the Asian front, or is it the European front?
Both. And it was mainly focused on like military operations.
Ooh,
with
that's cool.
Just the slightest bit of kind of like home front, cultural, kind of how America was dealing with everything at the time. But for the overwhelming majority of it, it was just, here's the generals that did these operations. What did these battles mean for this? All that. But it was still, I love that stuff, so I enjoyed it.
Did you learn about, I have a fact about this, General McAuliffe, who was like, he had the line, he's like, it's like, oh, he was like in the Battle of the Bulge. He was one of the generals in that who like really helped swing it. Maybe if you didn't learn about him, his son, it was either his son or his grandson, was one of my teachers in high school.
No shit.
Yeah.
But he was the general that, like, when the Allies were surrounded.
Yes.
Yeah, he was the one. I forget, what did he say? But yeah, it's a pretty badass line.
Yeah, like, he said like there was some line, and then he said like something like, "Oh shit." There was like another line. There's like these two like lines. He said I think it was his son was my teacher, Mr. McAuliffe, in high school. Shout out to you, Mr. McAuliffe, if you're listening. He was like our history teacher. He actually taught like ancient history 1 year, and then he taught the like World War II history, obviously. And he was also the bowling coach. I was never on the bowling team, but he was bowling coach. So yeah, shout out to Mr. McAuliffe and anyone from Brother Rice who's listening to this, because I remember. But yeah, so that's cool. What other classes are you doing?
That's it right now for summer. Just 3 classes. That's all I needed to keep the full-time status.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
So I can keep getting the government's money to pay for my housing.
Yep. Nope. I understand. That's super cool. And how far are you from Purdue, like minute-wise? Like, you're like 30, 40 minutes, right?
Just about 45-minute drive.
Oh, okay. That's not too bad. That's how far I am from my high school. I was about 45 minutes every day, so I get it. Yeah.
Yeah, most of it's highway, so it doesn't take too much of a toll.
Yeah. Nice. That's actually super cool. Sometimes I wish I lived farther away from Purdue's campus when I was there. Because
I'm actually thinking about getting a bike for maybe like next summer to kind of cut down more on gas costs.
Like bike as in like a hog or like a bicycle?
Well, like a motorcycle.
Okay.
Yeah, maybe not like a hog right off the bat.
Yeah.
But definitely a cruiser, because I'm not into the sport bike kind of thing. I don't think I'd be comfortable on that, and I really don't like sport bikes at all. But yeah,
I've always wanted a cafe racer. I think those are the coolest thing ever. Like the 1950s style cafe racers are dope. My boy Ewan McGregor has a bunch of them. He's super into motorcycles. Like that's what he does on his free time, is he like fixes up motorcycles and stuff. And yeah, big inspiration. Shout out to Ewan McGregor. I know he's not listening, but if he is, I love you. You're a fantastic actor.
He'll go through the backlogs once this becomes the national treasure that it should be.
Exactly. He'll go and they'll be like, they were looking out. I'm like, always. Trainspotting's a fantastic movie. So is Big Fish. But yeah, so you've probably been up more than I have. I had knee surgery and I just got my stitches out 2 days ago. So I've been up to the same thing that I have been last time, which is nothing. I've been going back and watching all the Netflix Marvel stuff, like Daredevil, Jessica Jones, Iron Fist, Luke Cage, Defenders, Punisher. I've been going back and watching all those. And you know what? Those are pretty great. People kind of give them shit, but I think they're fantastic, so whatever.
Last thing I left off on was The Punisher. I think I made it through like 75% of Luke Cage. It was a good show. I just kind of other stuff come up, so it wasn't like I dropped it because I was not interested. I have not seen Iron Fist. I have not seen the second season of Jessica Jones. I love the first one. Yeah. So I got a bit of catching up to do. I didn't watch The Defenders at all. Jessica Jones
is the Daredevil season 1 and Jessica Jones are the two best ones. Iron Fist is probably the weakest one, but still good. The end is really cool. It kind of is a slow start. The first 4 or 5 episodes, you could kind of watch a YouTube, if someone did a supercut to make those all into 1 hour, you could probably do that. Then the next 4 or 5 episodes or whatever are really cool. Defenders is awesome because it's only 7 or 8 episodes, so it's shorter. And it literally, it cuts to the chase. And there's a super cool boardroom hallway fight scene, in this really modern building set to Run the Jewels. And it's the coolest scene ever. It's all 4 of the Defenders end up in the same place at the same time for a specific reason. They're all you're here. And it's when they're all first meeting each other and they all start fighting and using their own styles. It's a very cool scene. It's one of the coolest scenes besides the hallway fight scene in the first Daredevil. So I would recommend that. And Luke Cage Season 2 is better than Season 1. So if you do like Season 1, Season 2 is better. In my opinion.
I can sound that.
So yeah, that's all I've been up to. And then I guess seeing some movies. There's more movies I have to see this week. I want to see Mission Impossible. That's kind of the big one. And I have to see Ant-Man. So those are 2 that I got to get around to.
Mission Impossible movies are just surprising to me how consistently good they are.
Right?
It seems like a series like that would have some sort of drop off in quality at some point. But I don't know, and for all the shit that Tom Cruise gets in his personal life, the dude has been consistently making good movies in his later career, and I'm really happy about that.
Yeah, actually, there's a whole thing that I brought up about Tom Cruise. I was talking to a friend of mine and my dad simultaneously about it. So you know how, like, a bunch of actors, it's come out that they're real pieces of garbage and they don't treat women very well? Tom Cruise is a very strange person, just in his personal life. If you don't know about Tom Cruise, Google Tom Cruise stuff. He's just a very odd guy. I feel like he wouldn't do that, though. He does not seem like the kind of guy who would be like that. He wouldn't Louis C.K. something up, but he's just a very strange person. I feel like he isn't the kind of person to, like, do something against someone's will. He's just weird. Like, he's the guy at the party who you're like, dude, why did you just tell me that? That was the dumbest story ever. But he's not creepy. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he seems like he controls his public persona outside of the Scientology stuff pretty well.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know how much. I mean, he probably buys into a lot of the Scientology stuff quite a bit because he's one of their most renowned and famous members. I've heard some pretty nasty things about that religion as far as like how they treat people. But I don't know how much. Yeah, what he personally has to do with a lot of that. So I guess I reserve judgment on him for that kind of stuff until anything like that kind of becomes public record or stuff like that.
One of those things I've heard about him just from knowing some people who it's just like 6 degrees of separation kind of thing. Just some people I knew out in Los Angeles who did know him or worked on a project with him. He's apparently the world's nicest guy. He's very strange, but he like loves his fans and is a very nice, genuine person to like fans and people on the street. He's always like, I'll sign an autograph, I don't care. But he's just
that's good to hear.
Yeah, he's like a genuine, according to these people who like have met him and worked with him like on set, he apparently is a very like very easygoing person. But yeah, the Scientology stuff, if Scientologists are listening, they're going to come bust through this window and kill me. But yeah, I'm not about it. I don't believe that we're all from some weird alien from outer space. Not about it. But yeah, that's like one of those things I'm like, how did this get passed as a religion? Because it has to go past Congress or something to become officially recognized as a religion. How did someone like in the government, to get officially recognized as a religion, to get tax write-offs and other stuff for churches, you have to go up like to Congress or you have to get passed legally.
I guess that's probably more of the to be considered like a non-profit organization, like a 501c. Yeah, you have to go through some. Yeah, there's a lot of like very particular rules as far as like how you conduct your business. Well, it can't be a business really. Yeah, it's got to be non-profit. But to get tax exemption and all that. I think there's quite a few rules, and how much they kind of like enforce a lot of those is kind of like up to the IRS really. Yeah,
I would just be very curious to know who they sent over to Capitol Hill and to like pitch this idea. It's like, so guys, we got this religion, right? And they're like, so you guys have God? And they're like, no, there's an alien and he's pretty cool. Also, Elrond Hubbard wrote our Bible. So there's that. And people are just going to be like, what? Like, there's footage of Elrond Hubbard. Like, there's interviews with him that you can look up on YouTube. This guy, no. Like,
he's nuts.
No, he's completely insane. He's the one who came up with, like Cthulhu and stuff. He, like, wrote all of, what is it? What is it? It's like the H.P. Lovecraft stuff. He, like, wrote all that, and he's, like, apparently, like, he was, like, insane. And he wrote so much, like, fiction. That's like J.R.R. Tolkien becoming your Jesus. I love Lord of the Rings. I'm a huge Tolkien fan. I'm not going to worship him, though. So, yeah, that's my 2 cents on Scientology for all of you who wanted that hot take. Oh, Ben, you can give yourself a title. I am now online celebrity Russell. So, it's you put out into the world what you want. So, I'm calling myself a celebrity so that when I one day become a celebrity, it's not a shock. So everyone's like, oh, yeah, well, duh. So if you want to give yourself a title, Ben, you can be online celebrity Ben. But when I start posting about the podcast, it'll be online celebrity Russell. And I can put online celebrity Ben post a new episode if you want your own title.
How about future Hollywood Squares Center Square Ben?
Okay, yeah. Type it out to me and send it to me on Facebook exactly how you want it written. And it will be in the description of the podcast. And I'm not kidding.
Got it.
I am 100% serious, and that's how you will come up on the podcast from now on. That will be your title. So, that was what we're up to, and now we have a topic. So Ben and I have kind of written topic. We had a very loose idea of a topic that we went over, And we've created notes independent of each other. So let's see what happens. Like, Ben, you want to go first? And which topic do you want to start on? Because I have a bunch of notes.
I think we can get into the chain restaurants.
Oh,
we'll talk about those.
Yes. So, my justification for chain restaurant is it has to have a menu and it can't have a drive-thru. Those are my two things. So if it has a drive-thru window, it's fast food. No drive-thru, it's not fast food. So technically, Starbucks counts as fast food because there's a drive-thru.
As well as Steak and Shake?
You know what? Steak and Shake's in this middle ground. They give you a menu, and you're kind of supposed to sit down, so you can count Steak and Shake. I actually don't have it on my list, but I have an opinion. So,
okay.
So the first one I have on mine, they're like not alphabetical or favorite to least favorite. I have Olive Garden. So what do you think about Olive Garden?
I dig Olive Garden. In my brutish American clod sort of way of thinking, I've obviously never been to Italy to taste quote unquote authentic Italian cuisine, but for what Olive Garden is, you can't beat those breadsticks.
Oh, they're fire.
And you get pretty damn good sized portions for the money you pay. It's just people can thumb their nose at Olive Garden and say, "Oh, it's not real Italian food." Well, whatever. I know exactly what I'm getting into. I'm going there for those breadsticks. I'm going there for that pasta.
Yeah, the endless soup salad and breadsticks is pretty fire. I've been to Italy. I went to Italy for 10 days when I was a senior in high school, I think, maybe a junior. So I have been to Italy. The biggest thing, Italian food in Italy is fantastic because it's just called food. So that is always nice where you go to a place and they don't call it Italian food, they just call it food. So it's very good. But you know what? Olive Garden, it gets a lot of smack, but it's good. It's solid. If you're going to go to one of these chain restaurants, go to Olive Garden. Because you get a mountain of pasta or an entire loaf of lasagna. So duh. That's a no-brainer.
They have a soup there. They have a soup there called chicken and gnocchi. It's like an Italian chicken and dumplings. That's a staple of my meal every time I go there. It's I have to have that.
I've never had that one.
A load of that ground up Parmesan on top.
Oh, I love Parmesan. I'll put Parmesan on basically anything that's okay, you know what? Now that we're on this, I'm going to give a shout out to Subway for one reason. The meatball sub at Subway is fire. Get it with Parmesan cheese on it. It's essentially a pizza sub. You should do it. It's like a calzone. It's the best thing that Subway has. I didn't used to be into it, and then one of my buddies told me you should get the meatball sub, and I did, and I'm not looking back. So, let's shout out.
It's also the cheapest sub they have.
It is the cheapest sub they have. So, yeah. If anyone is wondering, go get that sub. If you don't like Subway, it might change your mind. But Subway, as we've talked about in a previous episode, Subway is my favorite fast food. So, because it makes me feel like I'm not eating fast food. But yeah. So, what's your next one on your list? Because we'll probably have a bunch of the same.
One of the places that I frequent most with my wife is Outback Steakhouse.
Okay,
that's her favorite place to eat, and I had not been there maybe once in my life before I met her. When we got together, it's Outback that's the place we go.
I've never been, and I literally have that written in my notes. Outback, never been. So I don't have an opinion. Everyone who's ever gone has really liked it, so it's probably pretty good. But there's none near me, so. There's a Longhorn Steakhouse, which I've never been to either, but I feel like those are pretty similar. I
don't think I've been to Longhorn either.
Yeah.
A lot of those places, I can't really imagine there's going to be a whole lot of difference between them.
Right? I have one of those on my list. I have Applebee's and TGI Fridays. For my notes, I'm going to read it. Applebee's, nope. But Applebee's, IHOP/IHOB, because IHOP is switching to IHOB, International House of Burgers now. They're doing combo restaurants. That's a thing now. So I'm not kidding. It's a real thing. So they're going to do Applebee's, IHOP combination. They have KFC, Baskin Robbins kind of things or whatever. It's going to be like that.
What's the point of that?
It's so you can get pancakes and then endless appetizers at the same time. I don't know, but it's a real thing. Like, I'm not kidding.
That seems just stupid to me. But what do I know? I'm not an executive on the board of these companies that own like several of the same chain restaurants we're talking about.
I feel like the way they decided that is they had like a blind group come in and they gave them the Applebee's menu with a bunch of other random menus mixed in, just like blindly, and they didn't say whose menu it was, and maybe the most people voted like this one is the best, and it was IHOP's menu. I feel like that's how they picked, because they just did it by like what food do people want together the most. Because I could see the fact that like if you want chicken tacos at the same time as you want like a Grand Slam a tower of pancakes at the same time, cool, dude. Like, it's your world. But yeah, and then I have TGI Fridays, and I wrote, isn't it Applebee's the same thing?
I think I don't know if they're owned by the same company, but I mean, to me, they might as well be.
Yeah.
I think TGI Fridays has more like crazy flair and shit on the walls.
Oh, okay.
But other than that, like, you could probably put, like you just talked about, you could put the same like menu in front of me, like both of them in front of me, take off all logos and like any sort of telling signs that which one is which, and I probably could not tell you which one was from.
Yeah, exactly. So that's like what I was putting on this. I don't know. I would like to say I've been to one more than the other. I feel like I've probably been to each of them maybe 3 or 4 times, and they kind of just blend together where they're serviceable. Like, if there's nothing else around and you want, like, to sit down and have something and hang out, yeah, go for it. But I know someone who, I don't think they listen to this. They might, actually. I know someone, I was not with them, who got blackout drunk and vomited at the Applebee's right by Purdue's campus, right by the Walmart. Do you know what I'm talking about? By the big pyramid, the Cook Pyramid. I know someone who vomited there. So, they might be listening to this. And if you are, I know you did that. So, that's a little shout out. You know who you are. So, my next one on mine is Chili's.
I like Chili's.
I do too.
Think Chili's is pretty good.
Yeah, Chili's is like a step above the other ones. I feel like Chili's, their appetizers, like they have like these grilled chicken appetizer things. Pretty fire. So
I think what sets Chili's apart is they do have that kind of Southwest kind of blend to most of their food.
Yeah,
like they do make that a part of it instead of just being like, here's a steak or here's a slab of ribs. Like, they do make an attempt to kind of set themselves apart. Yeah,
and Chili's is the only place out of, I think, most of these on this list, except one other one that I'll get to, that I like my burgers. I order them still mooing. I like my burgers so rare. Like, I like them to be cold on the inside. Like, I like my meat very, very rare. And Chili's is one of the very few places that will actually honor that. And most of the other places are like, well, we only do medium rare. I'm like, can I have rare? Like, if you can give me raw, I'll take raw. Because, like, I don't know. I'm weird about it, but I love super, super underdone meat.
I'm a medium rare to medium. It does depend on the place.
Yeah.
I actually got a steak from Red Lobster about a week ago that was medium rare, and it was pretty damn pink on the inside, but that thing was good.
See, I like my steak on the inside like purple. And I want to be able to have fur on the other half of my steak. Like that kind of thing. And if I can still have like a heartbeat there, I'm cool with that as well. Because I don't know why, I've always liked really rare meat. And yeah, so that's a disqualifying factor for a lot of fast food burger places. Because they can't do rare because it's like pre-done. But like if you could go to Burger King and be like, can I just have one of the cold ones? Just put it on the thing for like 5 seconds. Just give it to me like that. I'm cool. So, I don't think they'll let me do that. But yeah, that's my thing on meat. For those of you who... If someone out there wants to go buy me a meal, get it for me super rare. That's all I ask. So, what's your next one?
All right, my next one comes with a question.
Oh, okay.
So, what is your favorite place, what's your favorite chain to go to for breakfast food?
Okay, breakfast.
And this could be either for breakfast, like at the time of day, or if you are just craving like breakfast, then 7 o'clock at night or at midnight.
Oh, okay. So my favorite breakfast place, I got really addicted to it when I was living in Los Angeles. Denny's, because there's one down the street from me. Denny's is heat. I love Denny's, and this is a very new thing within the last year. I developed a Denny's love for like, it was like 2 or 3 in the morning a couple times, and it was just like writing the script for the movie or doing stuff, and I'm like, I am so hungry, and nothing else is open, and I'm in Hollywood, so if I walk the wrong direction, I might get stabbed. So we went to Denny's, which is right by Roscoe's Chicken and Waffles, if you know what that is. And it was so good. But yeah, that's mine. What's yours?
Denny's is mine as well.
Okay.
Gotta have that. Gotta have those Grand Slam witches.
Exactly.
Or the worst name for a food of all time, Moons Over My Hammy.
Yup.
It's still delicious though.
Oh, 100%. Are you a pigs in a blanket kind of guy?
Oh, absolutely.
I love pigs in a blanket. One of my roommates, who I actually think he listened, I'm almost positive he listens to this. He didn't know what pigs in a blanket are. Matt, pigs in a blanket, everyone knows what that is. Didn't you have a childhood? But yeah.
Now, did you eat pigs in a blanket with hot dogs or sausage links? Because I've had them with both.
I personally like them better with sausage links, but if I get a pig in a blanket with a hot dog, I'm fine with that.
Yeah,
but with sausage
I like
links,
them better with sausage links.
And then you get maple syrup on top.
Ooh, yeah,
done. One time I got pigs in a blanket, and I got it with someone gave it to me with cheese, and I was like, well, I still gotta put maple syrup on this, because I'm not getting rid of that. And it like melted cheese and maple syrup, which wasn't that gross of a combination. Saying that out loud, it sounds real bad, but it was good.
I thought that one of the main ingredients of a pigs in a blanket was cheese. That's how I've always had it.
See, a lot of time I've gotten them, it's just the pig wrapped in the blanket, and it's like, it's bare, and then you add your own stuff, but I got it, and there's like melty cheese with it. I'm like, well, I'm adding everything else to this. But no regrets. That's
something that's super cheap to make at home, too. Just get a can of crescent rolls, some sliced American cheese, and a fucking hot dog or your sausage link, and boom, you got food. You got a meal for a family of 4 right there.
Exactly. Have you ever had Little Smokies? I know they take some preparation to make.
Smoky links are the best.
If you do a pig in a blanket with one of those, you're done.
Yep,
those are the best.
That's what I do them with.
Those are like the best for like if you're having either a barbecue or like an in-home tailgate party for like a Super Bowl or something. Those, game changer. For all those of you out there listening, people pay big bucks for those kind of recommendations. You're lucky you're getting this for free. So, my next one on mine is actually Red Lobster, which we mentioned a second ago. Their biscuits are unreal.
Yes, and they're on the level of Olive Garden's breadsticks, and I would actually put them probably a little bit higher.
The last time I went to Red Lobster, I was with Emma, and we ordered when we went, because neither of us had like leftover food, because I had a gift card actually to like a bunch of different places, and Red Lobster was on like the back of the gift card where it was like, you can use this at Red Lobster. And so we went there, and it paid for both of our food, but they're like, do you need a to-go box? But I'm like, no, but I want an extra full order of your biscuits to go. And I took them to go, and it was the best decision I've ever made.
They reheat so well.
They do. And I just put them in the fridge, and then the next morning I had those with, I don't even remember what else. I had leftovers from somewhere else, and I just made this like compilation meal. So good. I would go back to, there's not a Red Lobster actually anywhere near me. Even though I live in Chicago and you would think there would be one, there's none near me. So I would 100% go there. That's like top of the list. And then my next ones, I have IHOP and Denny's, but we talked about both of those. Here's another one. I don't really like it all that much. You may be different about it. Cracker Barrel. What do you think?
I don't really have an opinion on Cracker Barrel. I've been there plenty of times, and it's just kind of like, it's okay.
Yeah.
Like, I've never had an overwhelmingly positive experience from there. And it's not that's not a bad thing about Cracker Barrel. It's just kind of like, Cracker Barrel's Cracker Barrel.
Yeah. It's cool if you're 75. That's just all I wrote in my notes. And I just said, it's cool if you're 75, and it's basically the same as Bob Evans. There's a cool store in there, I guess. That's literally what I wrote in my notes. That's my opinion on Cracker Barrel. It's okay, whatever. I've been there probably 3 times in my life. I could not tell you what I ordered. It was very forgettable.
Yeah, I mean, I guess you could go there for a decent breakfast. I'm pretty sure they do breakfast all day.
Yeah.
But other than that, like, I've never had the overwhelming urge to be like, let's go to Cracker Barrel.
Yeah, and also with it, I feel like I'd be the youngest person in there by at least 50 years.
Oh yeah,
if not more.
Yeah, when you walk into the main gift shop and the first thing you see is like a Hank Williams Christmas album, you know that like I didn't bring my AARP card, so I'm not 100% among the tribe here.
Yeah, it's Hank Williams Christmas albums for some reason, like cast iron pans and then wind chimes. Why? I just wanted
homemade rocking chairs on the outside porch.
Yeah,
that plaid blankets and cross stitched things on the inside. It's all just like a grandmother. I'm wondering like how Cracker Barrel is going to evolve as our generation gets older.
Because
that stuff's not going to be like cool to us.
Yeah, because like that's like grandparents' age or maybe like an older aunt or uncle. That's like a thing because that's like that aesthetic where it's like that cabin kind of look where it's almost like a lodge, but it's still like homey in that same kind of country house sort of way. But our generation is going to be like, what the hell is this?
Yeah, I have a prediction, I guess. I think that the gift shop of a Cracker Barrel is, as we become the generation that they're going to try and attract, it's going to turn into like an airport electronics store.
Yeah,
slowly but surely. Like, what the hell is that place? Those places at the mall.
I know what you're talking about. I know exactly what you're talking about. Yes.
Yeah, a bunch of useless as seen on TV things in there.
Yes. Oh, it's like the seen on TV stores. There's a name for what those are, but it's going to be like that. It's going to be like a duty free section in an airport.
Yes.
It's just like there's like, for some reason, mini bottles of vodka next to Beats by Dre headphones, next to, like, Ray-Bans. Like, why do you need these three things? I guess you want them now.
Did you leave yours at home and not get them through security? You better buy ours for about a 200% markup.
Exactly, yeah. That is what it's going to be. It's going to be that, and then emoji pillows.
Ugh.
Yeah.
Rainbow poop emoji pillows.
Rainbow poop emoji pillows, and then, like, the Yeezy style sweatshirts with the burn holes in them. It's going to be, instead of like plaid shirts, it's going to be those. But you know what? You could probably go to Cracker Barrel and get a whole outfit and look like Kurt Cobain for about $30. So if that's what you're trying to get into, you could probably get a Kurt Cobain outfit there really cheap.
Oh yeah, for sure.
My next one is Waffle House. And so Waffle House is not a thing in Chicago. And it's not a thing in Los Angeles. And it's not a thing like everywhere I've ever lived. But I've been to one because there's one near Emma's house. Waffle House is solid, but I don't want to admit it.
I've been to Waffle House, I think, once in my life. And it was when I was maybe in middle school. So I cannot have a judgment of it currently. I just pretty sure I think I know how it's going to be. It's going to be greasy, terrible for me, but satisfying.
Yes, it's what it is. I've actually, the whole thing about Waffle House is you have to go like stoned or drunk. I've only ever been to Waffle House sober, so I feel like if I up my intoxication game, it'll go from, you know, this is serviceable fried eggs at 1 a.m. to, yo, we got to go back. I've never gone to Waffle House and be like, I need to go back there. But yeah, my next one, I went to for the first time within since we had the last podcast, Red Robin.
Really?
Yeah, there's one that kind of opened up pretty close to my house. And, yeah, I was just at home. And my dad was like, do you want to try Red Robin? Because he'd never been there either. And I was like, yeah, let's do it. And so we just got like takeout, or not like takeout. We just ordered food to go. And it was like pretty good. It was like a solid, I had a solid burger. My dad had a chicken sandwich. They're both actually quite good. Like you could tell me that would be from like somewhere like higher caliber, I guess. And I would have believed you.
Yeah, Red Robin's good. It's another one of those places where like I don't think about going that often, but if the occasion arises, like I've had a good experience every time I've gone. Mm-hmm. And yeah, just like you said, good burgers. Their fries are killer.
Yeah,
I think those fries are really good, and they're always like endless baskets of those. Yeah, Red Robin's it's one of those places where it's just like, yeah, it's a reliable place. I guess depending on your location, you're always going to get a pretty satisfying experience.
Yeah, you'll get something good. You're not going to leave there being like, oh, that sucked. But like, if you're like hoping for like 5-star, you're not getting 5-star there. But it's probably on the list of all the stuff we've named. It's probably up there with like Red Lobster on the how tasty it is scale.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And then my next, I have a few others, but this one's a Chicago one, Portillo's. Do you know what that is?
I've heard of it, never been though.
Oh, okay. Portillo's is like burgers, hot dogs, and Italian beef is what it is. So it's like Chicago style food minus the pizza. Yeah. Portillo's is fire. I'm never going to ever talk shit about Portillo's because it's the best. And I think that's a Chicagoan thing. But then there's like fake hipster Chicagoans who are like, Portillo's sucks. I'm like, no, you just like going against the grain because you want to be sad. Portillo's is amazing. So
yeah, there's a restaurant. I'm not going to drop a name on it because I have a connection to some of the people that are I guess like, well, yeah, owners of the place.
Uh-huh.
There's a local place that they kind of they market themselves as like, you know, Chicago style, like food, like burgers, hot dogs, stuff like that. When they first opened up, it was one of the best damn places you could go to get like something that really tasted like a Chicago style like food, like you're talking about, but here in central Indiana. Since then, like when they've kind of made everything more of the traditional like profit over quality.
Yeah.
And that quality has really sank. Like it's still a decent place to go, like, but it is just not the same as what it used to be.
There's
and I don't know if you know what place I'm talking about.
I think
it's in the Purdue area.
I know exactly what you're talking about. Yep, I know what you're talking about. I was thinking it might be this place. It's in the area of Purdue where people always go get food and drinks. I know that. Okay, we are talking about the exact same place. I went there so much at like 3 or 4 in the morning, and I'm not going to say why I was there at 3 or 4 in the morning fairly frequently. They knew my name. So, but then I went there one time when it wasn't 3 or 4 in the morning on a Friday or Saturday, and I was like, this is not as good as I thought it was. So, I agree with that. Have you ever, okay, we're going to talk hot dogs for a sec. So, how do you order your hot dog? Give me your hot dog order if there was like, it was like kind of like a perfect menu.
Okay. Well, I guess there's 2 families of hot dogs I would go for. There's always like, you know, the traditional, which would for me would be just mustard.
Okay. Yep.
For me, it's like if we're talking from a hot dog cart, which is the best way I think it should be served. You know, a steamed hot dog.
Yep.
With a steamed bun wrapped in, you know, tin foil. Just for me, just straight a line of mustard on it, and I'm satisfied.
Okay.
But then you have your Coney dogs.
Okay.
Which locally, Coney dogs, you think dog and suds.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's like Coney dog with cheese on it, like with maybe a little bit of onion on it. That's bliss for me.
Yeah.
But yeah, if we're talking just a straight up hot dog, yeah, just mustard.
So, okay, I have 2 points on that. Good thing you just said mustard. I'm from Chicago. You don't put ketchup on a hot dog. God.
Put ketchup on a hot dog. Get the fart out of here.
Yeah. No, on a burger, I understand it. I'm not a big ketchup guy in general, but I understand a burger. Get it the hell away from my hot dog. Second thing, you brought up Coney dogs. So people think Coney dogs started Coney Island, like in New York, but they didn't. They started in Detroit. The reason I know that is one of my ex-girlfriends, I'm not going to say her last name, her family, their last name is Hayash. They opened Coney Island, the food chain, and started the Coney dog. That was her grandfather who opened that restaurant. So I'm not messing around. You can like do the research on this. Their last name is Hayash, and that's the family who started it. It was his last name. So yeah, and my ex-girlfriend is like, that's her grandfather. So, but that wasn't her last name. So don't do that research. But I'm not messing around with that. That is a real thing.
There's a joint up in Chicago I've seen on like on a documentary series I've never been to. I've always wanted to go. It's called the Wiener Circle.
Oh, dude, yeah. Yeah. The Wiener Circle.
Oh my God, that looks like it'd be so much fun.
Yeah, if you ever come up to Chicago, stay at my place. We'll go to the Wiener Circle. You have to. The Wiener Circle, I've never been on you're supposed to go to the Wiener Circle super intoxicated. I've always ever been there sober because I've driven people because I know exactly where it is. Yeah, you have to go. And if people don't know the shtick of the Wiener Circle, it's just like, it's not a hot dog stand. It's like a room where you can order hot dogs. It's kind of like if a garage sold hot dogs. But it's run by a family, and they hire a lot of employees from the south side and west side of Chicago. And these employees are told to be sassy with the clientele. And it has gone to a whole new level because people go there and they want to be treated like garbage. So you can go there and they will scream at you. Like, not kidding. They will take your wallet out of your hand and throw it out the door. It has happened. I know that because it happened to me because I couldn't decide what I wanted. And they literally just gave me a hot dog with nothing on it. And I didn't order a hot dog with nothing on it. They're like, you couldn't decide, here's this. And there's no condiments out for you. It's just, that's what they gave me. I'm like, cool. Great. And they're like, hey, you better not order anything else. Get out. And I'm like, awesome. This was an amazing experience for me. But yeah.
Yeah, I think I saw that place for the first time on like This American Life.
Okay.
And as soon as I saw that, I'm like, I have to go there. This would be such an amazing experience for someone to just say like, what the hell do you want to order? Like, get out of the way. There's people in here that do have their mind made up.
You 100% should go. I recommend it. If you ever come to Chicago in hopes of going to the Wiener Circle, tell me, and I'll go with you. I will take you on an adventure to the Wiener Circle. It's actually pretty close to University of Illinois Chicago, UIC. So it's pretty close to there. So a lot of college kids go there during like the school year.
What's the proximity to like Wrigley Field?
Oh, it's quite far from Wrigley. It is quite far. It's on the other. So Chicago. This is bad radio. Chicago's kind of in a C shape because the lake is there. Wrigley Field is north. Wiener Circle is kind of a little farther and west. So you can walk between. You can drive and take like the L. But you also just shouldn't do that because you're going to go to the Wiener Circle at 3 a.m. And going around the Chicago or going around any city at 3 a.m. isn't always the greatest idea. Even though Chicago is a very nice city, you don't want to stumble around Chicago at 3 a.m.
Yeah. Because I'm going to be in Chicago here the weekend of the 18th for a Pearl Jam concert at Wrigley.
Oh, you're going?
Yes.
Oh, snap.
So I may have to try and make a trip to the Wiener Circle.
Yeah, when you're here, just text me. I'll be around.
For sure.
I know I'm making plans on a podcast while people can hear. But you know what? Whatever. I don't care. I want people to know my friends.
Deal with it.
Yeah. I want to go see Foo Fighters there. I think they're here in August. Foo Fighters are playing Wrigley Field.
Nice.
I've seen Dave Matthews play Wrigley Field. And I saw, is it Roger Waters? Pink Floyd.
Ooh,
I saw
that'd be a good show.
Yeah. That was super cool. I saw that when I was like 14. So I was not old enough to appreciate like what it was, but it was cool. I went to see it. But yeah, so I don't know where the hell we went. Oh, so hot dogs. So with hot dogs, Chicago style hot dog, for those of you who don't know, it's a poppy seed bun, either steamed, so you can do boiled, steamed, or you can do like, it's not like grilled. It's on those weird like rollers. So it's like, I don't know how the hell that's heated, but a hot dog that isn't like grilled, it's just like heated without a grill, with mustard, neon relish, onions, tomato slices, sport peppers, that weird salt stuff you put on top, and a pickle spear. That's how you do a Chicago dog, like if you're doing it the traditional way. But since I went out to LA, have you ever had Danger Dog?
I have not.
That's what a Danger Dog looks like.
Jesus Christ.
I know, I just showed a picture of bad radio. So Danger Dog is a hot dog that's split open down the middle, and they sometimes will put jalapenos in the gash. It's wrapped in bacon, served with salsa, like mango salsa, sauteed onions and peppers with like hot sauce, mayonnaise, and mustard on top. And that's
that sounds pretty tasty.
It is. And Danger Dogs a lot of time are cooked on carts, like on Hollywood Boulevard and stuff, or like at games, people make Danger Dogs. And that's like a strictly Los Angeles thing. They're pretty good. They're almost up there with Chicago dogs for me. They're way less healthy. They're like all fried, but They're pretty heat.
You had me at that mango salsa though. That on a hot dog just sounds pretty good.
Yeah, and occasionally Danger Dogs will also sometimes. I didn't have it like this, but I've had friends who like took pictures on Snapchat. They have fries like shoved into them, so it's like all in like exploding bun. So that's pretty good.
America in a food, shove something inside of something else.
Just the best, right? And then for the last two restaurants I have Famous Dave's. Do you know what that is?
I've heard of Famous Dave's. I've never been to one.
It's like probably the best kind of chain barbecue. It's just a barbecue joint. There's one really close to me, and I know there's one in like Fishers, Indiana. I know because I think it's like in Fishers. It's in like that kind of north of Indianapolis kind of area.
Yeah.
It's super. That one isn't as good as the one right by me. Probably just by people who are cooking and stuff. But Famous Dave's is good. It's not the greatest barbecue ever, but if you're looking for a barbecue chain place, it's not going to disappoint you. Famous Dave's is 100% where you should go.
The only other chain barbecue place I've been to, this was out in Ohio. I don't know if it's made its way west to Indiana yet, but it was called City Barbecue.
I went to a City Barbecue today. Seriously. There's one that just opened, like, I'm not going to say what town I live in. There's literally one that opened 10 minutes from me, and I was there. That's where I met my... I don't know did we talk about this on the show? I'm working on an infomercial, like, filming one. That's where we met.
Wow.
Yeah.
Talking about a damn coincidence. But yeah, I love City Barbecue.
It's so good. Like, it's so good. I got the brisket tacos. Fire. So amazing.
And their sides, like their baked beans, their mac and cheese, all that carb-heavy stuff.
Oh, yeah.
My God. Like, I want to die after I eat all of it, but I could die happy.
Yeah, we just went there. And they have, like, 15 different kinds of sauce and stuff. So good.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, City Barbecue's heat.
Itself out. Okay, that's good to know.
And then my last two on here, I have Chipotle, and then I have Five Guys because they don't have drive-thrus, and they're technically our menus. I don't like Chipotle. I like Qdoba better than Chipotle, personally. I know they're essentially the exact same thing. But I do like Five Guys. I love Five Guys.
Chipotle is serviceable. Five Guys is awesome. This is another thing, because for listeners, I was stationed out in Ohio for a few years in the military, so that's how I got most of my Ohio cuisine experience. But there was a place that was it was like a local style of Chipotle, but it was called Hothead Burritos. Basically the same thing. You go in line, you order either a bowl or a burrito, or get all your fillings and stuff. What set Hotheads apart was they had a line of like 10 different sauces that you could cover your stuff all in, and their Hothead sauce was freaking amazing.
Have you ever been to Fiesta? It's in West Lafayette.
I have not.
Okay, I know you're still taking classes. Go to Fiesta. This is bad radio. For people who are from Purdue or live in West Lafayette or know anything about Purdue, you guys are going to get a little tip. So, if you're in Chauncey, you know where the parking garage is? It's on the other side of the parking garage. It's next to Maru Sushi. Go to Fiesta. Get your get your burrito enchilada style. They'll cover it in sauce and cheese, and then they put it through the bake thing. So it's like an enchilada. So you have to eat it with a fork and knife. But it's essentially like a burrito-sized enchilada. Get it. It is the best burrito. It's the best non-authentic Mexican food I've ever had. Do it.
So Tex-Mex, basically.
Yeah, it's essentially just Tex-Mex.
I'm always down for a wet burrito. I love wet burritos. Those are good.
Oh, same. And then, do you have any others on your list before I have some surprise questions?
I wouldn't necessarily advocate for these places, but yay or nay on buffets, like Old Country Buffet. Cracker Barrel. That's not a buffet. Golden Corral.
I've never been to Golden Corral. I have been to Old Country Buffet. You know what? They're pretty solid. I'm not gonna lie. I went to Las Vegas last summer though, and went to a buffet there at Caesar's Palace. When you have filet mignon and steak at your buffet, no other buffet can hold up to that. But it's also at Caesar's Palace. But that was a little buffet renaissance for me, where I was like, these are pretty good. And a buddy of mine and I were like, how much do we physically have to eat for Caesar's Palace to lose money on this? And we calculated it's like 9 plates. Neither of us could get through 9 plates of food. It's like a plate and a half, maybe. But that's how much you'd have to eat for Caesar's Palace to lose money on the buffet.
Yeah. And the nature of a buffet is like your experience pretty much depends on those around you.
Yeah.
Like whose kid is gonna reach their hand into the plate of mac and cheese that you're just gonna like spraying germs everywhere. It's like I don't know. I know that buffets for the most part probably follow a health code that they're pretty strict on, but it's just like the thought of like other people just kind of like sticking their germiness all around the food that I want to eat. It's just kind of off-putting. Yeah,
I'm 100% the same way. I'm not like a germaphobe in the sense where I won't shake someone's hand, but I get weird about people touching my food. So when I was a kid, so like your parents make you food when you're a kid, right? Like make dinner.
Yeah.
I would get weird when my mom would like just like if something's in the oven, just like lick her finger, touch it to see if it's hot. I'm like, Mom, no, you touched it. And my mom's a doctor, and she's like, honey, I wash my hands 100 times a day, and I'm pretty sanitary. I need to be. And I'm like, Mom, I'm going to get sick. And she's like, honey, you're not going to get sick. Stop being a little baby about it. I made you dinner kind of thing. So, yeah.
Yeah. Kind of on that note, there's a local, like, in the hometown, or the town that I live in, there's this small little, it's a very small little, like, shack that sells, like, shakes, ice cream, burgers, little things like that. When they give you a drink, they put the straw in the cup for you.
What?
Without the wrapper.
Ugh. I don't like that.
That creeps the hell out of me. Like, I don't want someone's hands just like touching all over where my mouth is about to go in that.
Nope. Not about that. No. That I would probably take the straw out and just drink it without it. Because someone touching my straw, I think I talked about this on the last episode with Emma. I don't like sharing food with people like forks. That grosses me out. I don't like doing that, or sharing glasses, like cups. Like, I'll pour mine into yours. I don't care about the less food thing. I care about the I don't want your germs where my mouth is thing. So that's
the easiest way of getting like bronchitis and shit.
Yeah. Yeah. So, do you have any other ones?
I think we've covered about everything as far as like the major ones that we all go to.
So I have these would you rathers now. And I want you to answer because I have answers to all of them.
Okay.
So, Ben does not know about these, just for everyone listening. Ben does not know about the questions I'm about to ask because I wrote these while I was at the gym today. I was doing some physical therapy, so I wasn't using my arms because it's knee stuff. So I wrote a bunch of would you rather questions in my phone. So the first one. Would you rather listen to someone talk about how social media and millennials are ruining our world for 1 hour every week for a year? Or get punched in the face by Conor McGregor once a year?
I'd go with the millennial thing.
But the Conor McGregor thing, you know when it's going to happen, so you can prep.
You can't prep enough to get punched in the face by a professional fighter.
Okay. I'd probably take the Conor McGregor thing. I don't want to hear like someone being like, social media and millennials are just the reason our society is collapsing. I'd be like, oh my God, just punch me. It's like, Conor, get out here. Right here.
Now for the millennial thing, is this me strictly listening? Or
you cannot respond. You're like tied to a chair.
So no retorts.
No,
okay.
You have to just listen.
But I still think I would take mental abuse over physical pain on my face.
You have a good point. I still think I'd take the punch to the face. But, okay, so the next one. If you haven't seen this movie, we can substitute it out for another movie. Okay, would you rather have to eat a triple Baconator every day for a year? No, a triple Baconator is like 2,000 calories, so that's your entire daily caloric intake. Or have to watch the movie Jack and Jill every day for a year. So the Adam Sandler movie, Jack and Jill. You could pick any horrible movie that's around 2 hours. Would you rather waste 2 hours of your day or destroy your body for a year? It's kind of your choice.
I think I'd be dead in less than a year if I had a triple Baconator every single day. Like, diabetes would take me from this mortal coil quicker than, like, I would blow my brains out from watching that horrible movie. So I think I'd take Jack and Jill.
Me too, I'd take Jack and Jill.
As delicious as that burger is, it would grow tiresome after about a week.
Yeah, after like 5 or 6 days, you're like, this is sweet. And then you'd be like, oh no, I have to do this for another 51 weeks. Oh no. So that would hit me. And then I'd probably actually kill myself because I could not live in that world. Okay, would you rather sit in traffic on every single commute you do to your job for the rest of your life. So even, or not to your jobs, even if you're going to go get gas, even like for you, if you have to pick up your kids, there's traffic. Just bumper to bumper traffic every single commute. If you're going across, like, down the street to visit a friend, there's traffic. Or have every song ever be a Kids Bop remix.
Oof. You've put me in a hell which is inescapable with those two. I think for the sake of me having other things to do, which a traffic jam could impact, I would have to go with the Kids Bop one.
That means every Pearl Jam song ever, Kids Bop.
I'd actually kind of want to hear a Kids Bop rendition of, like, Jeremy.
Yeah.
Or even Flo. And see how they would make it sound. But, I have to stick with the Kids Bop because, like I said, I have other things to do that a traffic jam could very much affect. Me being, like, either late to or missing completely. Yeah,
I would have to pick the Kids Bop one, but I don't want to pick it. Like, I would rather have to sit in traffic, but I know that would destroy my life. Like, you couldn't hold a job. You couldn't do anything.
Yeah. I'd begrudgingly pick the Kids Bop choice.
Okay, cool. I actually made all these up. That one, the Kids Bop half of that one, I heard in another one, but I switched the other ultimatum. But the Kids Bop one, I thought that was hilarious, so I had to add that into one of them. And then, would you rather have to be in a movie theater where you have to pee the entire time you're in a movie, or on an airplane ride for the same amount of time where you have to poop the entire time, but you can't get up? So you can't leave your seat in the movie theater, and in an airplane, most of the time you can't stand up unless, like, the fasten seatbelt sign is off. But for some reason, you can't get up to poop. Like the bathrooms are broken kind of thing. Like, you have to sit through the duration of, like, 2.5 hours. Would you rather have to pee and be in a movie theater or poop on a plane?
I think pee in the movie theater, because at least with the urination, like, yeah, it's uncomfortable, but you get to watch a movie.
Yeah, that's mine as well. Because if you're on a plane, I also just genuinely don't love flying. So, yeah, and having to poop as well makes a horrible situation even worse. So, yeah, peeing, movie theater, because you can go see a movie. So, yep, I like your logic.
I feel like I could hold my urine easier.
Oh, then if you have to poop, it's over.
That might be getting ready to come out.
Yeah, no, if that's like the situation you're in, you better find a bathroom. This is the third episode in a row where we've had a conversation about having to poop. I don't know what's happening in this show. It's going down the shitter. Okay. Yup. Okay. Would you rather be able to go on any trip you want to, all expenses paid, everything is done for free, but run the risk of getting violently ill on the trip? Not that to say that you will, but it might just happen. So, like, you are on this trip, say you're, like, in Prague, or you're in the Bahamas, or you're in the Alps, and you just get violently ill. Like, it's coming out of both ends. Or you never get to travel ever in your life again to somewhere you want to go. Like, I mean, if you move to California, you can move there, but you can't go to, like, you can't go take a vacation ever, but you'll never get food poisoning.
I think I'd run the risk with being able to travel. Because, like you said, it's not guaranteed you're going to get sick.
Yeah.
Just like if you do, it's going to be fucking hell on earth.
Yeah.
But I think, I'd rather go places and experience things running the risk of getting ill than instead of just being cooped up in one place and just being like, well, I'll never get violently ill again.
Yeah. So it's like, say if you travel 10 times on that, like, in that ultimatum, you're going to get sick 4 or 5 of them. Like, it's just going to happen. But you still get to go anywhere you've ever wanted to go, ever. Right. For free. So I think I would take that just because you're making money on that one. Okay. Would you rather be a billionaire, but every time you touch money or paper of any kind, you get paper cuts? So if you touch one of your bills, paper cut. If you touch a money, paper cut. Touch a note, paper cut. Or just be like have like an average enough amount of money to support yourself, but you never get to use any money you make on yourself. You can never see a cent of it for anything that you want. So your bills and everything are technically paid for like a priest. So you can live comfortably, but you can't use any money.
That's interesting. Because, at one point, you could try and find a way to avoid touching any paper at all. It'd be hard, but it's manageable. On the other hand, so the second scenario, it's kind of like you're debt free and bills are constant and bills are always paid.
Yeah,
you are able to live 100% comfortably. You just don't get luxury items or anything fun.
Yeah, you can't go out and buy a new car. If you need it for your life, you can have it, but anything past that you want, you can't have.
So you can't buy for yourself. Could people gift you things?
Technically, in this scenario, yes. They could technically, say if you... in our world, you need a smartphone. So, yeah, you can have a smartphone in this scenario. But you cannot go out and buy yourself a new pair of shoes. You can't go and buy yourself a new whatever. You can't do any of that. But everything in your life, financially speaking, is covered where you're at, an average state where you're comfortable like most people. The other one, you are a billionaire and you never have to worry about anything except the fact that you get constant paper cuts every time you touch anything that's made of paper. Anything. And that one you would think is a desirable one, but when I wrote that this morning, I just thought about it the rest of the day. I'm like, you touch paper so much more than you realize. Especially in a wallet with money, it's going to be hard. And I understand credit cards, but there's enough times where paper cuts suck. I don't know if I'd want that. And that's the rest of your life, forever.
Could you cheat the system and wear gloves?
No. You cannot cheat this.
Gloves don't exist.
Or if you're wearing the gloves, you still get a paper cut underneath magically. You're still getting that paper cut.
Okay. That paper cut's happening.
Yeah, I mean, you can avoid paper somehow, but if you touch paper, there's a paper cut coming.
I still think I'd take the $1 billion in paper cuts.
Yeah, me too. I would. It's going to suck, and I feel like eventually you'll get used to it, but there's a time maybe you're waking up and you have a note on your bedside table, you touch it, big paper cut, that just ruined your day.
Yeah.
So
I think my woes about my paper cuts would disappear immediately when I remember wait a minute,
I have everything. So okay, cool. Would you rather have all of your food blended up into smoothie form for the rest of your life, or have every meal knowing that someone messed with it in a disgusting way? So even if you cooked it, there's going to be a pube in your food or there's spit in it. Everything you order, something gross. It's not always going to be the same thing. You just know something disgusting has happened to this food. It's not going to make you sick. You will never get sick from it. That's not how the scenario is. But someone did something gross, or everything you eat from now on will be blended up into liquid form. It's not going to taste gross. It just is liquid.
I'll take the smoothie food.
Yeah, me too. I
couldn't possibly stomach knowing that someone might have stirred my drink with their penis or something like that.
Exactly. That's what it is. Someone did something gross to your food. You don't know what it is, but you know someone did something gross. And it might not be the person who prepared it. It might be someone at the factory. Maybe a rat was in your food. Anything disgusting, it is for sure. So, yeah. Smooth.
I could get used to smoothie food.
Yeah, I mean, it's not going to be tasting bad. It's not like your food tastes bad in either scenario. It's just how it's delivered to you.
Yeah.
Okay. Would you rather be able to go see any movie or concert, show that you want to see, so it can be anything, live event or movie, for free, but there's always someone really obnoxious around you with their phone light, or they're laughing too loud or asking questions. They're a huge distraction. Or you can go to every show, movie, anything. There's no one distracting you, but all the tickets are almost sold out, and it's always at a super steep price hike. So, even if you want to go to the movies, at 4 p.m. on a Wednesday, it's going to be a $30 ticket for some reason. Or if you want to go see Pearl Jam, it's going to be $400 instead of $80 or whatever. But no one's going to bother you.
Okay. I think I could manage to kind of block out the bothersome, obnoxious person. in order to keep my costs down for doing anything entertainment wise.
It could be someone.
I could not justify paying like $30 to go see a movie.
It could be someone in front of you at a concert with their phone up, like, right in front of your face. It's someone annoying. I mean, you can ask them to stop, and if they're nice, they can. But there's going to be someone super obnoxious. Maybe someone pushes you the whole time. Someone's kicking your seat. Someone's doing something. It's going to annoy you the whole time. I mean, in any situation, you can't ask them to stop, but it's going to happen.
I think in this situation, it comes down to basically do things and be annoyed, or choose not to do anything because it's so damn expensive.
Yeah, I would choose to be annoyed. I'd rather be annoyed and go do things.
Yeah.
Because otherwise you couldn't, like, talk to people. Like, if everyone's going to go see the new movie or all your friends are going to this concert and you're like, well, shit. Like, I would way rather have the option of going and just being, like, mildly aggravated the entire time I'm seeing the Red Hot Chili Peppers.
Yeah.
Like, just focus on Anthony and flee. That's all you gotta do. But yeah, so those are my would you rathers. Next time I'll have more. I wrote like just like 6 of them here because I was like starting to not become creative anymore after that one. I'm like, oh no, what else do I hit on? Because I tried to get a bunch of different topics of what holy shit of what would you rather do. But here we go. I have like 2 more topics before we end. What is the worst first date food item to pick? And it could be for you or her.
Okay.
And so you could like sushi. So the ones I wrote for like conversation starters, I wrote ribs, pasta because it can be messy, like seafood baked like crawfish, sushi, or weird street food. Those are the ones I just wrote. But if you have one, but this is in a situation where you know the person doesn't have a food allergy, so it's not like you're going to worry about killing someone, and you know they like fish enough to have sushi kind of thing. So that's not what you're concerned with. It's like the messiness and like how awkward are you willing to get, and what do you think the worst first date food is?
What you listed, those are pretty good candidates. I would think I would add to that like chili.
Oh, I didn't even think of chili. Yeah, chili's a big one. Sloppy Joe's.
Yeah. But just chili, like the after effects that it could have on certain people, like that could completely ruin a night.
Yeah, oh, yep. I think another one, for me personally, that's a really big aggravation, that this is never, it's not really a meal, popcorn. Popcorn always gets stuck in my teeth and ruins my day. Because then you're like this the whole time. Mm-hmm. Like, you're just like trying to pick it out of your teeth, and it's just like the whole time you're focusing on that. I think that could be bad. What else do you think are... Because I've just wondered, like, what is the worst first date food you could possibly have?
Pretty much, yeah. Any food that's, like, takes an effort to eat, like lobster.
Yeah.
Or... Because that's just... Like, it seems like it would distract you from, like, trying to make the first date, like, as successful as possible, which is, you know, focus on that person, you know, let them tell them about you. If you're trying to crack open a lobster egg and that shell just flings off and hits someone in the eye, like, that's a deal breaker.
Yeah, that's why I said ribs, because ribs are delicious, and I think most, unless you're, like, vegan or vegetarian or something, everyone likes ribs in some capacity, but you get it all over your face, you get messy, it's on your hands, it's on your shirt. Better not wear a white t-shirt to that date, but, like, yeah.
But if your first date says, "Hey, Russell, let's go get some ribs,"
boom,
marry that woman.
Yep. I actually was talking to my buddy who we mentioned on here. It's Sean, who's been on the show. He apparently, with his girlfriend, their first date, they got ribs. And because I was asking him some of these questions, he's like, "Yeah, we got ribs." I'm like, "Oh, okay, there we go." I think sushi also could be one that's off-putting because, like, fish. That's the only reason I put that is because even if they do like sushi, that raw fish kind of thing sticks with you. Even if you get the best sushi ever, there's some seaweedy raw fishiness to that, and that can be kind of a game changer. And then seafood bake for the same reason you said lobster, just because you're going to get butter everywhere. You have to wear a bib and you have to wear gloves. So
yeah, that's an event meal.
Yeah, I love, like, seafood bakes, so, like, crawfish bakes. Those are, like, with the potatoes and the little, like, sausages in there. You're done. That's, like, that's a must. And then weird street food. I don't know who would go get street food for a first date, but if there's, like, street food. I know when I was out in California, there was two people who were with us. We went to this thing called 626 Night Market, if you guys know what I'm talking about. It's this big, big night market. Have you ever played Grand Theft Auto?
Yeah.
GTA 5. You know where the racetrack in GTA is when you like leave the city? There's like a big racetrack in
like
GTA.
the horse racing track?
Yeah. That in real life, that's where we were, it's in San Fernando. And in the parking lot there, which is also in GTA, is a big thing called the 626 Night Market. It's a lot of Asian vendors, so it's a lot of like Korean food, Japanese food, Chinese, Vietnamese. Ooh. So they have like squid on a stick kind of thing, but they also have like ube, which is like a purple sweet potato ice cream. They have like the stuff in like the light bulb, like the drinks. So that kind of stuff as like weird street food. Like you can get like fried so it's not like State Fair, it's more exotic. It's like if State Fair was in like Bangkok. So it's like that kind of food where it's like, I don't know exactly what this is. It's tasty, but it's a little weird. So what about that?
I'd be into that. Like, you know,
if
there was like a Korean barbecue cart that I could go up to and convince that person like this is okay for us to eat on a first date, that'd make my night. I don't even know if I would care how the date went. I'm just like, man, I got some tasty ass Korean barbecue. I'm good to go for the day.
Oh yeah, 100%. I love Korean barbecue as well. I haven't had Korean barbecue. There's none by Purdue, but there's one actually pretty close to, not super close, but there's one kind of close to me that I've gone to. But I haven't been like a year and a half. That's something I gotta go do. And then my last question for the podcast: what is the worst date spot or idea? Like, what is the worst possible thing you can do on a date?
There's probably like a lot of it probably depends on the person, but I think universally,
funeral.
The worst thing you could do. Funeral is definitely a bad one. I don't know if anybody in their right mind would like actively say like, "Hey, I know we planned our first date, but there's also a funeral that just popped up. Like, would you like to come with me?"
Yeah, that's not really an accurate one.
Yeah. I don't know. Like, worst one. I guess it also, like, it might be something like say me or you thought that, like, hey, this is fun to us.
Yeah.
So it has to be fun. Like, if you took someone, like, paintballing.
Oh, I would love that. That'd be super cool, but I understand.
Yeah, like, are you going to take your date to go get shot all over down, like, bruises everywhere? Like, they're going to be like, I fucking hate this person now.
Yeah, do you know what whirly ball is?
Whirly ball.
It's like, okay, you have a dog. You know those dog ball sickle retrievers? It almost looks like a lacrosse stick where, like, you throw a tennis ball with it. So it's that in a go-kart. So it's like lacrosse in a go-kart, but you shoot it through a basket.
That sounds
amazing. It's in a bumper car. Sorry, it's not in a go-kart. They're on bumper cars. There's one in Chicago. I think it's everywhere because I've asked other people if they know what whirly ball is, and they said yes. There's one huge one in Chicago. It looks like it's in a warehouse, but there's like a bar there as well, and restaurant. But I think whirly ball is bad because I went with some friends, and two of the people we went with were on a date, and the girl got really bad whiplash and smashed her face into the front of the go-kart. So I know I'm laughing. It's not funny. It's really funny now because they're not dating anymore, so whatever. But yeah, she like messed her face up playing whirly ball because you get really bad whiplash because they're like, it's like bumper cars full speed with a bunch of adults throwing like a lacrosse ball at each other. So there's some danger involved there.
Yeah. I think there's a lot of fun things that just don't translate well to first date material.
Yeah.
Because kind of like I said before, like, it's all about getting to know that person and like kind of, you know, that stuff kind of might be like a second or third date kind of thing.
Yeah.
Like I would want to maybe do the more traditional like dinner or go have some coffee and like, hey, let's talk, let's get to know each other, like let's make sure that before we go any further, like we're not wasting each other's time.
Yes. And I think movie is good for second or third date, not the first one, because you're not getting to know each other. You're both sitting there watching a thing.
Right.
And like if you do like movie at like if you cook, I think a clutch move for a first date, I don't know. I've never done this. I think a clutch move, because I have a buddy who did this recently. I hope it worked out for him. He cooked dinner at his place for her as a surprise. So he was like, hey, come over so we can go to the movie together and stuff. But he had like cooked dinner there for both of them as a surprise and stuff. And he like asked her before, like, what do you like? What kind of food would you want to do? And he made it there. So I think that's like the coolest thing you could do. That's the best idea.
That's pretty smooth.
Yeah, that's like the smoothest.
That's a risk-taking move too, because he's like straight up first thing he's doing, like, hey, come over to my apartment, come over to my property.
Yeah,
that's, to some people that would be like a red flag, but
yeah,
I mean, I guess he kind of like hit the jackpot where she agreed, and then hopefully she was just impressed beyond belief with that.
Yeah, I don't know a whole lot about their relationship. I know definitely this guy does not listen to this because I don't think he even knows I have a podcast. And maybe if he does on Facebook, hey, if you're listening, you know who you are. But yeah, I think him and the girl may have known each other beforehand or maybe work. I think they did know. It wasn't like random, like, hey, they met at Best Buy or something. I think they did somehow know each other. He's like, oh, you should come over, like, leave your car in like the basement garage or whatever his apartment looks like. I don't know his apartment situation either because he recently moved. But he probably did that, like, park outside and then we can drive together sort of thing. And
that
then
makes more sense.
But I know he did that because I saw it, like, he posted on Instagram, like, he posted all this stuff. I'm like, that is pretty smooth, my man. Like, good for you. Because, like, what if, because I think it was like Italian food because it looked kind of like pasta. I think it was like chicken carbonara is what I think he was making from just like what the picture looked like because it was pretty recent. But if she doesn't like that or doesn't like eggs or something, like, that's a risk. So have a backup. I guess have a backup meal that you have, like, kind of just waiting. So like, oh, I don't love chicken carbonara. Well, I also have lasagna ready. But that also makes you look like you're, like, really overly prepared. So that can also be kind of a turn off. Like, how the hell did you know?
Yeah. Here's this, gumbo that I made. Oh, you don't like gumbo? I got a crave case from White Castle ready to go.
Okay, what is your opinion of White Castle?
It's one of my favorite fast food joints ever. I could slam a sack of 10 like none other, and it doesn't affect me like gastrointestinally, so I'm good there. But I absolutely love White Castle.
I know. I think I talked a little bit of smack of White Castle on the show. I haven't had White Castle since I've been in grade school, so that's like over 10 years. So I should go. There's one not too far from me. I should just go and like dip my toes in, just get like one or two, and be like,
yeah,
yo,
they have a two cheeseburger meal with like a side of fries, or you could get the preferred side of chicken rings, which are the bomb, and a small Coke or something like that. Yeah, that's a good way to dip your toes in. It's like $5 for that.
Yeah, I might go do that. You know what? Because a bunch of my friends recently were talking about it as well. Like at the gym, they were talking about White Castle. I'm like, you know what? I kind of want to go to White Castle. I feel like I should go to White Castle and watch Harold and Kumar go to White Castle, but you also can't watch that movie sober. So, I mean, there's a whole thing there.
It's amazing that White Castle agreed to like kind of brand themselves with that.
Yeah.
But then again, I think I saw something when that movie first came out that like the CEO was like, we're self-aware enough to know that this is going to be a huge moneymaker for us if we get on board and, laugh with us, not at us.
Yeah.
So, we're about to have an influx of stoners as our business, and we already do.
Yeah.
So I think it was a genius marketing move for them.
Honestly, yeah. And I think one of the biggest things with that is, like, that movie could have been Harold and Kumar Go to Taco Bell because it is about the same audience. And not saying I don't love Taco Bell. I love Taco Bell, but everything on their menu tastes exactly the same. If you blindfolded me and you were like, this is a Crunchwrap Supreme, or this is a this, I'd be like, yeah, this is like a chalupa. I don't know. It all tastes the same.
Yeah, they're chef scientists. It seems like every quarter they're like, okay, let's rearrange the puzzle pieces of what we have in all of our food to make something else.
Yep. And it makes them billions and trillions of dollars.
Yep.
There's if you are interested in Taco Bell, or you just like this kind of stuff, Conan O'Brien, actually, I love Conan. He's probably my favorite late night host. He took one of his employees, who's a huge Taco Bell fan, to the Taco Bell headquarters, which is in Anaheim, California. You should watch it. It's really cool because it takes you through where the like headquarters of a major like food conglomerate thing is. And it shows you what their like campus looks like, how they actually make the food, and it's not like propaganda-y. It's like really legit. Like cameras are there, and they show like the taste testing rooms. And it's like little cubicles where you get to like rate it on a touchscreen. Like, do I like this? Do I not? And it's like random samples. It's super interesting. You should watch it. But the McDonald's headquarters is right by me in Chicago. That's
cool. Do they do like tours and everything? Like, here, have a free Big Mac at the end of the tour.
I think they might. They just moved, so their corporate headquarters is in a town called Oak Brook, which is near where the original McDonald's was, which is from Chicago. And then they're like, I think their tour thing, because they just opened it downtown somewhere in the city. It's their like new facility thing, but there's something called the World McDonald's where you can get something from every McDonald's around the world. They have every.
That's cool.
So like, I know in Japan they have like shrimp crab cake burgers. You can get one there.
Damn.
So if you when you come to Chicago, I don't know exactly if it's open, or I think it might just have opened last week because it's on the news. It's like on Chicago News. But yeah, I kind of want to go do that. That'd be pretty cool. And I don't love McDonald's. I don't, but it's not bad. Like, a Big Mac is pretty solid.
Yeah, it's hard to go wrong.
Can you get Big Mac sauce on other stuff besides a Big Mac? Like, could I put Big Mac sauce on a snack wrap? Or can I put Big Mac sauce on a breakfast thing?
You could probably convince your cashier or someone, if you're at the drive-thru, to do that. Like, hey, throw some of that special sauce from the Big Mac on there.
Like, I'll pay you.
I'll pay 10 cents or whatever.
Like, if you charge me an extra $1, I'll do it. Because I love that Big Mac sauce. That stuff is ridiculous.
And if all else fails, I mean, just go buy a bottle of Thousand Island dressing, which that's all it is.
Yeah, I know. But it's so good. Like, it's delicious. But, yeah, those are all the questions I had. And this is now officially the longest episode. Ben, the last 2 episodes you've been on have pushed the bar for longest episode to see what sticks.
I'm on a blue streak for pushing these things. I think next one's going to be like an hour and 45 minutes. That's
fine. Yeah, let's just keep coming up with good topics. Like, these question things are pretty solid. They lead to some good and interesting conversations. And Ben, you need to get on the social media game so I can rep you. Oh, did you text me or Facebook me exactly what you want me to call you? Because I'm going to call you it in the description of the podcast.
I will get that to you immediately after this.
Okay, cool, perfect. Because, yes, this is 100% happening. So, guys, for those of you listening, Ben and I were talking to each other a lot of the time instead of podcast talking. But you know what? I hope it made a good conversation, and I hope it made a good episode. And if you like this, it's See What Sticks, a podcast about everything and nothing. Thank you so much for listening. And if you listen from LinkedIn, I post this on my LinkedIn all the time, and I know a few people have messaged me that they've listened. Thank you for listening from LinkedIn. That means a lot. That's a very strange way to get in touch with the podcast, but thank you. Also, if you are like the random 8 people who listen on the YouTube channel, because these just automatically go to YouTube, thanks for listening there. I appreciate your listens. But yeah, this has been Ben again, who is now like an official verified co-host or host of See What Sticks, because he's quite reoccurring. But yeah, thank you again for being on.
Thank you for having me. It's always a pleasure.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. And I always like to say that these episodes come out on Wednesdays and Sundays, but they don't. They come out when I record them, which happens to now be randomly. So I try to do 2 a week. But thank you for everyone listening. Thank you for the sporadic schedule and being understanding with that. Hopefully one day I will learn how to actually prioritize time and get these out when I say I do. But you know what? Whatever. This is See What Sticks. We're not about being professional here. We're not about being the experts or the news. That's not why you're here. We're experts on nothing.
This is rebel stuff.
It is.
We don't live by your podcast rules.
Yeah, we're mavericks. We're trailblazers here. That's what we do. But yeah, thank you for listening. If anyone has a topic idea or something, just message us. Message me, because we don't reveal Ben's last name. Ben doesn't have a last name. He's like Cher. It's just Ben. So,
frankly, I don't give a damn if people know. It's Oliver.
Oh, yeah. Ben has.
Yeah, you'll find me somewhere.
You're like Ricky Bobby. You have 2 first names. Ben, what's your middle name? I'll reveal my middle. I don't reveal my last name on the show.
Joel.
Oh, mine's Jude. J middle names. Very cool. I almost said my last name. I'm not going to, because I don't want creepy people on the internet to look me up. Wait, did I tell you this? What?
I was going to say, here's the first 16 digits of my credit card number, too. If
Yeah,
anybody would like to know.
Everyone really quick, I'm going to give out my social security number, and it is... No, I'm just kidding. Did you hear the thing? There's a reason I don't give out too much about my location on the podcast. Do you know the slow-mo guys on YouTube?
Slow-mo guys.
There's a dude who... So if you look up YouTube slow motion, they're the guys who like blow stuff up, and they have like 10 million frames a second, so you can see like.
Yeah.
So they're the two British guys, but they live in Texas because they work for Rooster Teeth. Well, Gavin, the skinny guy who's behind the camera, not Dan. Dan's the guy who always does the stunts. Gavin lives in Austin, Texas. He got married to a woman, and they live in Texas, and that's where a lot of the videos are filmed, are in their backyard. There's a guy who somehow figured out where they live and came up and shot up their house. He went into the house with a gun. And Gavin, I don't even know if he ever releases his last name, but somehow this dude found out and went to his house and shot him up. There's a reason I don't say my last name and what town I'm from. Russell is also not that common of a name, and my last name is very not common. And I know because on Facebook there's only 5 other of us in the world. So, yep, it'll be really easy to find me. Like, really easy. Except, fun fact, my dad, if you want to look it up, my dad, his name is the same as an astronaut. So if you type in my dad's name on Google Images, like a picture of him will come up because he's a doctor and there's like pictures online. But there's an astronaut with the exact same name, and I always like joke. I'm like, Dad, when the hell did you become an astronaut? But yeah, so that's the thing. But if you look up my name on Google Images, there's a lot of pictures of me, and it's really scary. I don't like it. So if you want to do your homework and type in my name on Google, a lot of stuff comes up. It's probably because I run a podcast, and also because I probably have 3 YouTube channels. So that's why.
That'll get you out there, yeah.
Yeah, and I have an IMDb page from the directing stuff, so that automatically goes out there. But yeah. Oh, hey, just update for everyone. TMZ did not call me back yet. It's probably because they listened to the podcast and me shitting on TMZ. So, oops, whatever. So, sorry. If TMZ, if you are listening, please actually throw money at me. I'd like money. Thank you. I'll rep your brand. I'll wear a TMZ shirt. I'll get a TMZ tattoo on my face if you guys give me enough money. So, yeah. Yeah, that's my plug. I'll sell out for anybody. But thank you. This is See What Sticks. We officially hit 90 minutes. That's a new record. This has been Ben. I'm Russell. He'll be back very shortly for another engaging episode of the podcast. Thank you so much, and have an amazing night.
Bye, everybody.